Hello, everyone. Happy full moon and eclipse, July 16th, 2019. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the full moon eclipse. I wanted to talk about what this full moon eclipse means for you. And if you connect to this, great, because there's so much messages that you can look at the astrology chart and focusing on either the triangular aspect of it, where we feel like the energy is the strongest, the message, or we can focus on what we feel, the houses, you know. We could focus on the houses, we could focus on the planet and the houses, the bigger picture. There's so much, we could go on and on. But I want to focus on Pluto being in the third house, and it is a full moon in Capricorn. And opposite that is Cancer, right? Cancer and Capricorn are opposite. So you have the South Node in Capricorn and the North Node in Cancer. So focusing more on what's in Capricorn, the South Node, and Pluto, Saturn, the full moon also in Capricorn in the third house of Gemini. So even though this is an earth energy zodiac sign of Capricorn, and we're having this full moon in Capricorn, we're also having the eclipse. So eclipse is the alignment. It's the earth in between the moon and the sun, and that shadow is cast on the moon, right? So this is a big celestial event whenever there's a solar eclipse or a full moon, okay? And with the full moon is the lunar eclipse. So whenever there's a lunar eclipse or solar eclipse, it's a big deal. And it's a beautiful event to watch. And we want to, spiritually, when it comes to astrology, look at it and see how we can apply it to our lives. And really, the main thing that we want to focus on is alignment. How can we align ourselves with what we want? It's kind of like a way to get charged, because the full moon is about charging things, where the new moon is about cleansing something. You can cleanse as well under the full moon, but the new moon is more of a restart. Okay, starting something new. It's a good cycle. The cycle begins again. So it's a great time to start something up, right? And you don't want to start it up in Mercury retrograde. But you want to focus on this full moon and the lunar eclipse for your alignment, okay? And especially if you are a Capricorn birth sign, Capricorn North Node, okay, very powerful. Capricorn is in your moon sign, that is also very, very powerful. And your rising sign, it's very powerful. Rising sign and ascending sign is the same thing. Okay, so your birth sign Capricorn, your rising sign or ascending sign, same thing, Capricorn. Your North Node Capricorn, whenever you were born, that was the zodiac sign above, okay? Your location, or the moon sign. So you want to get aligned, you want to feel recharged, and you want to also shift your consciousness because of this Pluto. Okay, and Pluto has gone through so much. It's kind of like Pluto experiences Mean Girls, where Pluto is like, okay, I'm here in the group, but am I big enough? Am I considered, a star, a planet? So Pluto has its bullying in a sense, right? It's the best way to. It's kind of like that planetary humans considering something a part of the group or not. The bad side of humans, really. So here's Pluto, and Pluto, we're gonna focus in on you. We could think of Pluto as the great revealer, right? So it reveals who you are at this time, and who someone else is. Now, when someone shows their true self or shows their understanding, this person could be completely negative, where you are completely disgusted, but it's also an opportunity to learn and grow. So on the full moon, I took that time for myself just to relax and recharge, okay? because I've been traveling. So I didn't make the video while I was on my vacation, and I didn't make this video, when I got back, and now I'm making it. So, what was your experience? Okay. Because usually when a full moon happens or just before it happens, something gets revealed in the world. So I don't really like to use my astrology to predict things that's happening in the world, more as personal growth, really. With social media, everyone is so sensitive, and it shows the unwillingness of a person to learn about themselves or others. And I've been on the computer since 1995, so I've seen it grow. So Pluto is basically the great revealer. It's about transformation, it's about power, it's about death and rebirth, and it's about evolution. So it's really you turning everything inward first, because you're in control of yourself, and say, okay, how can I learn? How can I grow? And that's what all the full moons are for. But this one in particular, it's about you setting goals, restrictions for yourself. How can you restrict yourself to make yourself more powerful? How can you use your time management to better yourself, right? It's so many things in one, but the main important thing that you want to really focus on also is new ways to communicate with yourself and with others. Okay? So that communication is very important. How you communicate with yourself, how you communicate with others. Um, and just let me talk about Pluto for a little bit. So, in the third house of Gemini. So, Capricorn is in the third house of Gemini, like I said in the beginning. So Gemini is the messenger, okay? Gemini and Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is the messenger. Mercury is about communication. So the big issue is, how were you taught to communicate with yourself, your whole belief, your whole existence? And you're always taking that into consideration every day, okay? Astrologically, every day, because it's going to define your personal goals for that day. So the biggest alignment is in Capricorn, in the third house of Gemini. Mercury is in retrograde right now from July 7th to August 2nd. So, communication, even if you mean good, things might not come out the right way, but also your communication will be an opportunity for you to learn if you choose to, or you could use it to just defend how you feel, but then you're not going to grow and transform and take on that Pluto effect of growth, becoming the great revealer of yourself by what you say, right? Because that's how we communicate. So you're revealing how you feel and think, and all of that, you know. And especially if you are an adult, you can actually reprogram yourself and learn more and become a better you, and give yourself more peace. I saw someone said something about being at peace with yourself, being at war with the world, something like that, being at war with the world, or, being at peace with the world and then being at war with yourself, or being at peace with yourself and at war and be at war with the world. So it's kind of like, which one, right? So you know, and how can you find that balance, that yin and yang, right? So this is an opportunity to really grow with Pluto, for you to evolve. Okay. And this is the astrological part of it. Okay. And I will make the meditation part of it later. So the biggest aspect is also that Venus is in Cancer, and so is Mercury in Cancer. Okay? And Venus is in the 8th house of Scorpio, which is sex, death, money, other people's money, rebirth as well. And Mercury in the 9th house of Sagittarius, which is travel, education, and all of that. So if you're a Sagittarius, you might want to see how you're communicating with other people and why you think the way you do. If you are a Scorpio, you want to see how you react to people with love when it comes to money, when it comes to your beauty, you feeling your self-esteem, your self-worth, and if there's any jealousy there, you want to work on that. You also want to work on the self-love and valuing yourself and making sure that you are putting up boundaries, you know. For all of the water signs will want to take in that Venus and Mercury message, because Venus and Mercury is in Cancer. So all the water signs will benefit from that message. Okay? So that will be the Cancer, the Scorpio, and the Pisces. And all the earth signs, Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn, can benefit from seeing how Saturn can help them, how Pluto can help, how the energy of the moon to charge can help them. And the south node of your past relationship, past experiences, past lives, your whole evolution, your whole lesson in this life for your reincarnation. What lesson is hard for you to learn? What angers you in life? And then try to find healing there. So we covered the water signs, we covered the earth signs, the air and the fire signs. All of you can recharge at this um, full moon and find your alignment. So it's the Sagittarius, the Leo, the Aries, the Gemini, the Aquarius, and why am I forgetting my other air air sign? That's really bad. Okay. But you want to be able to allow yourself to recharge, Aquarius. Okay. Gemini, you want to be able to recharge yourself and find your motivation. Okay. You want to be able to, and Libra, why am I forgetting Libra? Air sign. Okay, Libra, you want to be able to recharge. Okay, rest is very important, and the main thing is for everyone, all of the zodiac sign, to really get their alignment. Align yourself with what you really want. What's your goal? What's your happiness? Right? Allow yourself to recharge. Also, allow yourself to get that rest, that recharge. Right? You can recharge your crystals, your anything that is important to you that you use daily. You can charge it up with that energy. Right? Shifting your consciousness. So shifting your consciousness plays into that Pluto in the third house, where you are really looking at the way that you think and your realization of yourself in your life. Okay? Having a new way of communicating with yourself and others is very important. And not, in this technology time, it's like, I'm going to communicate to one up you, or I'm going to prove that I'm smart or I'm great. It's like, so what? There are people that are great and people that are not. But if you're doing it in a negative, egotistical way, you pretty much defeat the purpose. So you want to communicate to teach. Okay, and some people do it in different styles. It might be more like, clapping back, or it might do it with comedy, or they might do it intellectually, where it's like, oh, okay, and the person gets the message and they learn and they hopefully they grow. It's like giving the lesson with vinegar, or giving it with honey, and either way it will work depending on the person. Okay, and it's up to them to really take it to heart. Okay, so Capricorn is like, it's time to personally evolve and to learn new ways of doing things, new ways of understanding. Okay, and something has to die within you to really learn again. And it is so hot outside. My camera was not having it. So the main thing, I just put this up as something for you guys to look at. But the third house is Gemini's house, and it has some keywords there. And then the ninth house has some keywords there in the eighth house. So you can pretty much focus in on that, okay, while I talk. So the camera just stopped because it was too hot outside. So what I want to touch on is Pluto in the third house. So really focusing, like I said, you can focus on different aspects on the chart at the full moon to figure out what are the key things that I need to look out for, is why you're watching this video, or somehow you feel like you can better yourself, or do something along those lines. Okay. And really it's about alignment. This is a perfect alignment of the moon, earth, and sun. Okay, and that's three. Okay, very powerful. So you can use this opportunity with Capricorn for work related issues. You'll notice that. That's the astrological reading part of it, is you'll notice that what people think or are doing in regards to their work, and it's based on, and if it's something negative that they're doing or you're interpreting it as negative, but it's an opportunity to learn, that's one thing. The other thing is you're not interpreting it as negative. It is negative. Then that's their south node. That's their south node. That's their south node. That's their karma to learn. Okay. So the south node is in Capricorn. So there's some karma issues that they would have to learn, okay? Regarding the mind, the way that their mind is, the activities they're doing, the things they do, how they learn, how they speak, how they communicate, all of that, family, friends, all of that. The Saturn, maybe putting restrictions on yourself or putting restrictions on others. It all has to do with communication. And with the Mercury in retrograde, things are moving slowly, or there's some hiccups or problems with that communication. Okay, you have the eclipse, and a lot of um, a lot of things will be met to its match. Okay, so during the eclipse, when it comes to work, things will be more heightened and will need to be aligned. And if it's not in proper alignment, then that issue will be very much highlighted. Okay, so it will make a big stink, or a big deal. All right. So it's the moon, and the moon is our emotions and our energy. So you have Pluto, the moon, and Saturn. Those are the planetary alignments in the third house, and the moon has to do with the feminine aspect of things, but it also has to do with our emotions. It's also our satellite, our beacon. Okay, our way of it's a way of trans transferring, transmitting. Um, how are we delivering our messages, our thoughts, our feelings? So that's very powerful. So let me look at my notes, because I really wanted to talk about Pluto in the third house. So it's shifting your consciousness for your life. Okay, it has to do with life, death, rebirth, our own power. Right, you're thinking about all of that, our evolution, right? So Pluto, you can look at it and say, how do you want, how you do what you do, sorry. So how you do what you do, how do you do things? And in that third house, how do you do things? How do you gather your information? How do you take in this information that you have, right? And here comes Gemini to help with that, being in the third house. Also, it looks at your new way and your new need for survival. Okay, and it has to do with communications, like media, right? So if you have a business, it's like, how do I communicate in a new way? Videos, I would be on camera right now, I just don't feel like it, and I'm like, let me do this a different way. But I love doing videos because I can say how I feel rather than type it out, even though I like writing. But it's also, for me, it's giving you information that you can look at and use, right? And like, I'm holding it right here so you can see this. This is a cool chart. Don't know who made it, but it's a cool chart. And I thought, okay, this would be something good to see. Okay, nice visual. I was outside, it was beautiful, putting the camera on this rose bush, but it's so hot that it was like, okay, I need to go inside. My phone overheat, right? So it's like new ways of communicating in media for your survival. If you own a business, this is your survival. So it's like, how do you make it fun also? Because Gemini is fun and witty, and Pluto's in the third house. Capricorn is in the third house. So it's Capricorn and Gemini working together. It's Earth and air. But Earth can learn a lot from air, and air can learn a lot from Earth. So it's not this childish way of looking at the 12 zodiacs as a learning psychology experience. It's more of looking at it as at what can I learn and incorporate it and do it my way, my unique way. Okay? It's not about being anyone else, it's about being you. So look at Pluto as your new need for survival in social media and communicating. Learn different ways that you can communicate, right? Even though Mercury is in retrograde, you can still communicate, but do it in a different way. But also, if you had a plan to do something before Mercury retrograde and you started doing it slowly, you're fine to keep doing your stuff during Mercury retrograde. It just means that a little bit slower, but it will come along. Okay? But you want to always start it up before the Mercury in retrograde. You can be inspired during that time, but as soon as August 4th comes around, boom. Let me look at the calendar. I'm trying to multitask. That's a Gemini, right? So I'm multitasking. Let me bring up the calendar and let me get to August. So August 2nd or 3rd is when it ends, pretty much. So the 4th is Sunday, and Sunday is a great day to start things. It's the sun's day, and Monday is the 5th, so that's the moon's day. Another great day to get stuff done. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday is a great time to get things done. Either you're meditating or you're getting things done. So have an idea of what you want to do for that week. And astrologically knowing what the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of August looks like helps, but you got to set the intent is the most important thing, no matter what the astrology of it is, right? So we'll put that out there. All right. And let me bring up the calendar too. I'm going to bring up my zodiac calendar because that would be good to see. Okay, so still continuing with Pluto, your new way of surviving and communicating using social media, right? Learning different ways to communicate. Also recognizing that air element because that's the house, right? And the house is telling you what's going on, basically, if you will. Okay. And for the rest of July, you really want to have that Gemini vibe with Capricorn to get your stuff done. Okay. August 15th is going to be the full moon in Aquarius, Pisces. Okay. And then it's going to be the new moon in Virgo on the 30th of August. So the 3rd, 4th, and 5th is all waxing crescent moon. So that's a great time to bring things to you. And the 3rd is going to be Virgo, waxing crescent. The 4th of August is going to, which is Sunday. So let me back up. Saturday, August 3rd is a waxing crescent in Virgo. Sunday, August 4th is a waxing in Libra. And the 5th Monday is also in Libra. So that Virgo is grounding and that Libra is really being diplomatic. So once the Mercury retrograde is over, that Saturday, Sunday, and Monday are really power days for you to do things that will empower you for the start of that cycle, to leading you up to that full moon. So let me jump back to July. Okay, so let me jump back to July. And we don't have another new moon. We have a full moon, the full moon that just happened, and then August. That is so weird. So for August, we have the full moon in Pisces, I want to say. Aquarius to Pisces. Okay. All right. So, and especially if you you have that full moon to really help you out in August on the another chance to charge up on the 15th. And then the new moon on August 30th is going to be really good right before we get into September. So I'll talk more about that at another time. So back to the Pisces. You want to make survival plans. You want to start your focus. You want to learn from your past and not make the same mistakes again, because that's where you're going to evolve with that Pluto mindset. And you want to confront whatever is blocking you from your transformation, where it's not necessarily have to be confronting a person, but the issue, and work it within self and move forward head on, right? So it's facing the true meaning of whatever is being said to you, okay? And for some of you, language might be an issue where you're either learning a new language, you are learning the language you do know now to better communicate. That's also a good thing. Okay, some of you might be passionate to learn a new language because that's going to help you with your work. Well, it has to do with that Capricorn energy. It might help you in your work to communicate, to even learn a little bit, or really take it more seriously to actually learn a language fully. That's Gemini, that's Mercury, that's the third house, Gemini's house, right? Structure yourself to master yourself, how you do things to equal your success, your personal goals, right? Pluto rules over Scorpio. So what's in the eighth house? Again, it is Venus. So it's a lot of self-care and self-love that you can give to yourself. This is all the signs, right? You're fighting for yourself, your sexuality, whatever that means to you, the way you feel attractive to yourself, attractive to your partner, the way you handle money that comes into to you, whether it's other people's money, because Scorpio rules that. So receiving money, okay? Learning from your mistakes. I said that already, so you don't do it again. That's your transformation. And this energy, you're taking it till the next moon cycle, big moon cycle. Okay, so even though you didn't see this video before the eclipse, you take it in when you get it. You know, you take that message. You know, don't redo things that didn't work out. You know, don't redo things that didn't work out. It's like learning from that. Okay. Um, put yourself first, teach yourself, learn from yourself, learn from others, of course. Your mind is going to, I'm trying to decode what I even wrote down. You know, um, your creativity is first in your mind, and then you create that, okay? And it's also having like a poker face. So what you're thinking sometimes don't exactly have to reflect it on your face, right? But also be creative, and also slow down um, and think, okay? And just, you know, reset yourself. It's very important, okay? And this Pluto energy is going to affect Gemini's, Leo, Aries, and Scorpio more, as far as um, their energy, you know, of attractiveness towards themselves, that self-esteem, and also to their partners or whoever they wish to align with, okay? So it's a very powerful time to align yourself with what you want. And when the most important thing from you watching astrology is to know the peak of the full moon or new moon in your location, and start your meditation, you know, 10 minutes before that, so you're meditating within that peak time, so your body build up that heat, that frequency, that vibration for the peak of the full moon for your location. So you can go online, find a birth chart, a moon phase website, or find the app. The app won't show you the peak, the website will. The app probably will if you put in your location. Okay, so figure it out, and it will be the peak time for the moon. And even if you have to stay up late at night, depends on how much you're committed to it. But if it works out that it's up during your wake hours, then great. If not, wake up, do the chant, you already have it prepared, and then go to sleep, or that meditation or whatever. So I hope this video helps you. Click like and share it, and contact me for your own personal reading if